Hello, everyone. This post is the official suggestion box thread for October 2023. This thread can be used to post up constructive suggestions and criticism for improvement of DSP gaming. There's no need to spend $3,000 for a PC when there are PC builds that range around 1/3 of the price range you want. Use Card Picker also if you are serious about playing Team Fortress 2 on your spare time. I recommend doing it on the weekends.
You should dress like Keemstar for your Halloween marathon and mock his mannerisms the whole night.
I believe shorts are a lot more popular now than they were when they first launched. I think a focus on shorts again like the channel had when they first launched would help bring the channel to a newer audience or maybe bring back in some older fans through the algorithm. Just an idea though. I also think you should drop your idea of being back into competitive Street Fighter. You get super angry and honestly, it's not that much fun to watch you get upset over dropped inputs, plus it just fuels detractor videos. I would love to see it go down to just one stream a week for at least a bit and just try and have fun playing casual so you can just mess around with different fighters. And you don't feel all this pressure to win every match. It's just a game and sometimes I feel like you forget that because of your love for Street Fighter, but I don't know dude, you get really heated. Also, the way you upload your podcast and daytime stream comes up in reverse. I would personally like to listen to your podcast after work but still be present for your nighttime stream. But your podcast usually isn't uploaded until after 6 p.m. which isn't enough time to finish it. Personally, I think you should run more ads, between 5 to 10 a day over the course of your 6 hours of streaming day really isn't that much and would help you more finically. I also think you should pre-record your tips segment. 95% of podcasts have a pre-recorded segment that's a few minutes and isn't nearly as intrusive or time-consuming as your current model. I feel like your current setup is almost 20 minutes of your podcast. I'm also personally not a fan of the music segment. It's been the same songs for years and I think that would be a better time to run a contribution segment, maybe with some classic DSP gameplay in the background.
Shorten your podcast. Maybe instead of doing an hour plus every day, maybe do a short 20 to 30 minute podcast 3 days out of the week and an hour podcast at the beginning and end of the week. New people aren't gonna stay for new releases if they have to listen to you talk about stuff unrelated to the game for almost 2 hours.
I feel like favoritism exists within this community. It feels like sometimes it's a boys' club and you can't really participate in conversations unless you meet certain criteria. It would be nice for conversation to be encouraged among all members of chat and for the rules to be applied to everyone equally. There are some stream regulars that get preferred treatment. It'd be great for this to be a more inclusive space. This is very real. I've been a member viewer for over 6 months now and the majority of the regulars won't acknowledge 90% of the chat.
While I understand you can only play so many games at a time, I think it would be a good idea to incorporate at least one stream to a game that you won't be fully invested in. It allows you to provide coverage on the game without full commitment. For example, if a multiplayer-style game comes to Game Pass like Exo Primal or Party Animals, you could dedicate one day or night stream to it and then drop the game. That way your channel can receive recognition for playing it and you also provide more variety to your streams. Here's a few things I think would really help out the stream, so hopefully it gets approved. Bear with me, it's a little long. 1. Get rid of Q&A at the end of the podcast and do it once a week. Since it's done daily, the same questions keep getting asked and it makes people tune out. 2. Rearrange your behind-the-scenes setup. You should try to center your monitor and TV close to the center of the camera so you don't have to keep looking left and right throughout the stream. If you're unable to move your TV, anytime you have to position the camera in the upper left corner, reflect your camera so it gives the illusion that you're looking at the game you're playing. 3. Stop bringing up trolls, detractors and other YouTubers. It's off-putting. Unless something has to be addressed, ignore it. Especially calling other YouTubers shill, sellouts, or doing it for the bags. There are thousands of good streams/YouTubes, so just forcing on the bad apples just looks bad. 4. When it comes to special events, instead of taking a shot for every $100 you receive, you should take one every time you hit a $100 milestone, so at $100, $200, etc. I think this would encourage more people to support, and your fans simply like to see you drink for the occasions. 5. For DSP racks, you need to review more trending media and uploaded them in a more timely manner. If there's a new show out / movie, you need to upload a reaction / review within a day or two to catch people's attention. 6. Remember, 70 to 80% of your audience is there for you and the community, not simply the game you're playing. So even if you're playing a slower or more boring game, make it entertaining. I noticed when you play a slower game, your chat checks out within the first 10 minutes. Try to keep them more engaged in what you're doing. 7. Think about updating your tip rewards. Even though the glasses, hat, and vest have become staples of your streams, I feel like they're getting played out. 8. I know it's tricky to get Cat Invalid in your streams, but your fans like it when she can. I know she doesn't want to be on screen, so maybe set up some co-op with her, where she plays downstairs and you're in the office. This will open up a lot more games to play that you have skipped due to being co-op. 9. Fan lobby for SF was a great idea. Keep that up, but with different games. Make it a members thing, and maybe once a week you can play with members. I believe it will get more people to join or renew their gifted memberships. 10. Lastly, just be more positive. People watch you to escape from their real life and want to have a good time. Rage will happen, but the name calling / dramas / ranting should be kept at a minimum. These are all legitimate suggestions that would genuinely help him. Let's see if they make it to the podcast. Hopefully he takes all of this advice. I would like to see him at Cat Play It Takes Two in separate rooms or some sort of survival game together. I would never give any streamer a $100 tip because frankly that's a lot of money, but I would contribute a couple of bucks if he was getting close to a goal. Here's a few things. Number 1. Stop begging. I know you don't think you are, but you really are. Mention how people can contribute if they choose to once in a stream, at the beginning. Then leave it alone. Don't bring up the goals, don't ask for any contributions, don't even hint about it. It's the number 1 thing that turns people off. Number 2, get rid of the tier goals. Nobody cares about gunner glasses or silly hats. Instead, do a goal along these lines: $100 in tips within, say, an hour and a half equals an extra hour of streaming. Believe me, your true fans will contribute more if there's something in it for them. Number 3, shorten your podcast. Nobody comes to you for your speeches. The podcast should be at most half an hour to give people time to settle in. Number 4, the games. It's clear to everyone you're not truly enjoying the games you're playing. Stop playing games you think will make money and start playing stuff you enjoy and are good at. That will give you the ability to be more engaged with your audience. Number 5, stop limiting what people chat about. When people are talking amongst themselves in your chat, let them. Unless there's blatant racism or bullying going on, let them talk. If you hosted a party and 200 people showed up, would you expect all 200 people to only talk to you or about your topics? That'd be unreasonable and insane. I honestly don't watch your stuff, but I've seen enough from your detractors to notice this stuff. And I think, if you adopt these changes, you'll see better results. Also, none of these changes will cost you a dime, so, realistically, what do you have to lose by trying them out? More gameplay. Less react videos. Play Baldur's Gate 3. Ignore the trolls. I've got a few suggestions, and they're all incredibly easy to understand and accomplish. Nothing that requires large sums of money, nothing that requires any serious input, just a bit of self-control. Number 1, shorten your podcast by 2/3 its length and focus more on gaming. It's the aspect of your streams that people are there to see the most, and it's the place you're most likely to get support. The Level 1 podcast and daily wrap should be less combined than a single segment of Level 1 podcast is now. Mix in talking about your day with your gameplay and focus on the stuff that is super important in the podcast. Number 2, mix in smaller games with the popular new releases. We're moving into the Halloween season, so now would be perfect for a game like World of Horror, an indie turn-based RPG that's about to hit its 1.0 version on the 19th after a few years of being in early access. This way you get the best of both worlds, as you'll have people looking for new releases on top of getting your foot in the door for more obscure games. More obscure equals higher chance of your channel ending up in the search results, especially since your channel is more than likely larger than a majority of the channels that have covered said games. That means more money in your pocket. Win-win. Number 3, for the love of God, either play into the trolls or outright ignore them. You have consistently kept bringing them up, over and over, especially in recent months, and it just keeps giving them what they want. Every time you insult them, you're doing exactly what they want you to. Every single time. It's an objective fact that there are more people in the online landscape that hate you than like you, so stop trying to talk big and pretend you're better and actually be better, because what you're doing is not only not going to win them back, but it's going to turn off new people. Think about the amount of potential new viewers that you could have had that came in during segments where you're berating people. Even without context, nobody wants to watch someone like that, and you know as much as I that that's a goddamn fact. If you ever get asked something you're not comfortable answering, simply just say that's none of your business or that's my business, not yours. It's quick, it's simple, it's the answer you give to people when they ask stuff that they have no right to know. I'm not a fan of yours, Phil. I'm really not, but I'm also not a detractor. This isn't a if you're not with me, you're against me black and white scenario. This is a neutral party looking in and giving his 2 cents after having been given a chance to speak his mind. I can only hope you make the right decision going forward. Perhaps a fundraising stream once every 3 months where you ask all of your members to decide on a charity they would like the funds you accumulate to go toward. You would gain a much bigger following from not only other donors of that charity but also around the internet in general. Over time, I believe you would achieve an impressive amount of growth in viewership and a much more diverse community. The possibilities of giving so much back are endless, and I am quite sure, being that you have such a positive group of supporters, they too would be on board. Just a thought, ways for DSP to improve. 1. Get a green screen. 2. Play more games on PC. 3. Play more indie games. 4. Debunk what the haters are saying. 5. Prove that Catherine is still there. 6. Go back to shorter videos. 7. Different thumbnails for the playthroughs. 8. Playthroughs just titles part 1 to part final. 9. Guests on the podcast. 10. Another interview side scrollers or not. 11. Sponsorships. 12. Viewers' choice playthroughs as goals. 13. Co-op gameplay and or commentary. 14. Get cat to game for the internet videos. 15. Increase your gaming work hours. 16. Decrease the podcast time. 17. More game reviews. Games I want to watch DSP play, but if he doesn't, just watch someone else play through. 1. Catherine Full Body. 2. 10 Days. 3. Unipop. 4. Unipop 2.
I'm married, stupid!
My recommendation is to get a co-host for a holiday stream. Maybe bring Catherine back on. Imagine the donations you would get if Catherine was back on the stream. I'm sure your mods can handle any troll comments before they become an issue. Shorten the podcast. 3 hours per day is too long. An honest-to-God suggestion is playing into the trolls instead of being angry over them. The top streamers and successful YouTube types do the same thing, and you don't have to compromise yourself to do it either. Make a joke of it, you know, go to a local Street Fighter tournament and play without online lag, smiley face, cut out the Q&A sections on your podcast and make it special again for Ask the King. Can we get a tips goal that you do a 70s style half open button up shirt with Vaseline on chest, maybe $125?
I should trial shirtless streams? No, lunch meat. Again, I keep telling you guys, I look nothing, act nothing, and am nothing like Review Tech USA.